guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I think we're starting to crack the code on women's craziness recently. I have a few more video examples of women being nuts, and younger men are also joining in on the craziness. Let's be honest. We can see the TikTok videos, and guys are doing the same thing when it comes to part of this. But for a lot of it, I think it's women are, they now, what's a good way to put this? They now think they're actresses in their own movies. That's really seems to be what's number one on women's plates for going crazy. Now, they never take accountability, so that's not new, even though I have a video having to do with that. But really what it is women have gotten to the point, we used to talk about social validation and women doing kind of, you know, risque things or being kind of scantily clad, dressed in very skimpy clothes to get the likes and the attention from men. Well, that's part of it. But now they've moved on to that because they're getting attention on TikTok, they're becoming quote unquote actresses in their own movies. Meaning even though it may not go viral or no one may be paying attention to it, they're acting over the top and they're doing crazy things and they're filming their lives and they're almost like trying to be the star of their own reality TV show, if that makes any sense. So I got a few videos we'll go through today. And I think this is really kind of, I don't know, very telling. The first video I'm going to do here has been out for a while. But I think this is important because this is the ground rule that sets men up to where they kind of get introed into the manosphere or the men's content or red pill content or whatever you want to call it, to where they say, okay, something's not right with women. Like they've gone off the rails when it comes to selectivity. As a matter of fact, I have a chart I'll pull up here just a second to go after this video. Okay, I pulled up the chart in question. We'll play it after this video. This is about a minute-long clip about a woman that did a study. I'll just let it play for itself so you guys can hear what it is. Let me zoom it up a little bit so you guys can see just a little bit better.
The book is based on a survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch.
Okay, so this is basic right here, right? Guys will say, oh, you know what? No, she does. Like, I like smaller or bigger boobs, or I like her a little bit thinner, a little bit heavier, or I like her taller, or whatever. You know, usually most of our preferences boil down to her looks, her personality, you know, the bedroom, that kind of thing. Where women, no, and wait till you hear the list of because men only have a couple where women have hundreds.
And so
80% to the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, you know, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, you know, that's the question that I explore in the book. And I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers.
What are women too picky about here?
Well, I'll tell you, men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date. And men named three things. They said she has to be cute enough. She doesn't have to look like Angelina Jolie. She just has to be cute enough. She has to be warm and kind. And she has to be interesting to talk to.
Let me just put a pin in that right here for a second. So I'm sorry for the squeaky toy. My dog has not been feeling well, and I'm trying to keep him occupied and entertained without him being all up in my face while I'm trying to record a video. So men have three things, and this is pretty universal. They say she needs to be attractive enough. What's attractive enough? Attractive enough that you say, I would like to kiss this person, I would like to date this person, and I want to see this person without their clothing, and I want to do the naughty with them. That's pretty much what men, and it's, if you looked at all the women I've ever dated lined up, there are heights from like 5'1" to 6'1", and there are cup sizes from A to double D, maybe even bigger. And there's weight of, you know, very, very tiny petite to, she's actually kind of muscular, etc. All different types. But when it comes to what men find attractive, we have a sliding scale on that stuff. It's not always the same thing with every woman. Every woman, I think most men can look at it and say, maybe she's a little different than I'm used to dating, but etc., right? Whatever. And then they say, I want her to be nice and her to respect me. Now, she doesn't get into the lying and the cheating aspect of it, because usually if you're looking for a partner, that wasn't a thing back even a couple of years ago. Now it's incredible. And they say she needs to be interesting. Like, I need to want to be around her. That's it. 3 things. Now, listen to how many the women have and how spectacularly minuscule they are.
Those seem like really valid criteria.
Ding, 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 ding. Pretty simple.
Right. Okay, reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And they wouldn't do it. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting. But then he did this Austin Powers impression. And I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again. Austin Powers guy could be the love of her life.
She goes on to say, Austin Powers guy could be the love of her life. And so if we look at it, what has made women like this? Because this is, I mean, let's face it, hypergamy and everything like this has been universal for all women of all time. The difference is, number one, they get massive amounts of attention on social media. Even mid women get a bunch of thirsty guys giving them attention. So that's making them their star in their own movie, the movie of life. She's becoming popular and she thinks she's attractive and she thinks she's highly desired and she thinks she's an extreme catch. Her ego starts inflating. Maybe that's what it is its ego and entitlement and thinking they're their own actress in their own movie. So they get this attitude like, I deserve the best of all men, okay? Then they get attention from social media. Now, what do they do for this attention? They do lots of different things for the attention, and I'll get into that in a minute. This is from Involuntary Celibate on Twitter, on X, and he says, women aren't shallow at all. And this is released by Bumble, and it says, let me open this image in another tab so we can see it a little bit better. It says, Bumble filters set in advanced filters by female users, and they selected height. All my gentlemen that are 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", somewhere around there, which is, my height, you are less than 10% of women have you even in their field to find on the dating app. Once you're down to about 5'3", 5'4", you're at 2 or 3%. So if you're a shorter guy, let's take me, for example. I like to joke that I'm 5'6", 5'7" if I'm wearing really thick socks. I'm probably somewhere around 5'6". I'm getting older. I might have shrunk to 5'5". Who knows? Only 10% of women, no, less than that. Probably only about 7%. They don't have this broken down. I'd say it's probably around 5%. 5% of women come across your filter. Otherwise, they don't even see you to swipe on you. Now, what if you're the average height for U.S. men, according to this graph? Now, they wrote this in. Maybe it's 5'10", something like that. It says, it's about 16 or 17%, somewhere right around there. So if you're 5'9" or shorter, what is that? 83% of women don't ever see your profile on the dating apps. And and that's the average height. Now, what is this vast mountain up here? It's 6 feet is only 60%. 6'6" is 90%. 7 feet. If you're 7 feet tall, you get more matches than you do if you're 5'11". That's how they've gone crazy with this. And this is from Bumble of November 2021. Okay, so again, now we've got the crazy women. They've become entitled. They're too picky. They're selective because they're the star in their own movies, which is their life. And since they're an actress, quote-unquote actress, looking for their male movie counterpart, they think they need a guy that is 6 foot tall, looks like Henry Cavill, and can bench press a Buick, right? And he's got to be extremely successful. Because if she's going to look for a leading man, well, she's a leading lady. She needs a guy that will match along with her. Now, what are these women doing to get this attention? Now, this gal right here, she's pretty well built, couple extra pounds maybe, but she's not bad looking. This is what they call a gum wall. Now, on this gum wall, and I guess it's some sort of a tourist attraction or a thing that happens somewhere. I don't know where this is. I'm sure one of you can comment down below. This is a gum wall. Is she going to add gum to the wall? No, I don't think there's music on this. Let me hear. Nope, there's no music on this. Is she gonna take some gum and add it to the wall? No. She's gonna go up and just lick the wall. You can hear people going, ah. And she starts chewing gum on the wall. Why is she doing this? Because it'll go viral. Because her doing something so salacious and so gross will go viral. And that's the promotion of her movie. People will look her up. And people will tag her, and people will share this video, and it's like advertising for a movie. You know, if you put out a movie today and it costs $100 million, they usually say, well, the promotion for the movie will cost about the same as a movie cost to make. So if the movie costs $100 million, it's going to cost you $100 million in promotion. What is she doing right here? She's paying. She's paying by being gross. She's paying by being weird. She knows it'll go viral. She's paying here for her to go viral. That is her advertising for whatever social media, whatever OnlyFools, whatever she does in life. That's her doing her advertiser. Why? Because she's the star of her own movie. What about this gal here? She decides to shame her boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend booked tickets to go somewhere. He obviously paid for them. That's not good enough for this young lady because she's an actress. She's the star in her own movie. And now she's going to embarrass him for not buying first class. Now, I don't know about you, but the one time I checked out flying first class, it was like, I want to say $700 for like business, or I mean $700 for regular. It was like $2,000 or $2,200 for business. And then it was like $5 or $7 grand for first class one way. I don't know about you. I can't afford that. And even if I can afford that, I'm not paying that because I'm going to be on an airplane for what? 7 hours, 10 hours. To me, it's not. I would rather pay even less and be in the cargo hold if it wasn't, I don't know, negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd probably fly that way. I'm cheap. Let's listen to her shame her man for being a nice guy and getting her plane tickets somewhere.
It's our first trip together. Oh, hey, everybody in first class. I thought he was getting us first class tickets, but he lied. Well, we all the way at 38, B. But at least it's our first trip. He trying. Look at him. Aww. Look at y'all in first class. Oh, it must be nice. Look at y'all separate. They gave y'all water already.
Now, granted, you know, she probably has a great sense of humor. And she seems like a very funny person. She's got all the people laughing along with her. But what about the guy? She's literally, I mean, he's right behind her. And if all these people are laughing, as a dude, you know they're laughing at her making fun of you. They're laughing at you. And she has no problems doing that. And she's live streaming it, of course. Why? She's the star. You see a running theme. I'm going to keep saying it over and over. She's the star of her own movie. Let's go on to this next one. Now, this one I do have to mute because it has music on it. I want you to pay close attention to this gal right down here. I don't think... Yeah, if I zoom it, it just adjusts the bar there. This girl gets pancakes. I think she set up her phone to film herself because it looks like it's at table level. So she probably took her phone, propped it up against a salt shaker or something or other, and now she's filming herself. But watch this girl down here when she sees this gal going nuts. You can always see she's looking over it. She's acting like a 3-year-old. And this girl over there, she literally like sneers and snarls at her. Why is she doing this? Say it with me. They're all doing this for validation and likes online. I did a video about this a long time ago. And this is a woman talking about how bigger girls, she says here, or he isn't attracted to bigger girls, like how some people aren't attracted to smaller girls. Everyone's entitled to their own preferences. And that's a comment somebody left on one of her videos. Again, now, I'm not going to go over this video again because I've done a video on this crazy chick. But what I want you to hear is how she talks to everybody. She talks to everybody like they're children. But notice she overreacts. She overacts. This is overacting. Why? Because she's the star of her own movie.
Hey, bestie! You're wrong. I think it's time for another adult pre-K lesson. What do you think? All right, turn your listening ears on. Zoop, catch a bubble in your mouth. Good job. Okay, here's...
She's going to talk to everybody like they're children. It's insulting, it's infuriating, but that's the point. Why is she talking to people like this? Because it goes viral. Here we are talking about it. This one's the one that kicked me off on this whole thing. This is a woman filming. Now, look at this photo right here. You can already tell she's got crazy eyes. She's got a ton of makeup on. She's probably decent looking, but now she's in her 30s, which means time's a ticking. And you can see this has been bookmarked on TikTok 21,000 times. There's 6,800 comments, and this has been liked 355,000 times. Why? Say it with me.
Why? Wow, you have the exact amount of hair that you have in your profile photo. You have no idea how refreshing that is. Sorry, yeah, before we order drinks, can I just lay a few things out onto the table so we're both not wasting our precious time?
Now, as we go through this, I want you to just listen to the laugh, the pauses, the over the top, you know what it reminds me of? Drama class in high school. That's who this girl reminds me of. Drama class in high school. That's where we are. And so, yes, what she says is infuriating. Yes, what she says is crazy. But watch the way she acts, and you'll start seeing what I'm now seeing in a bunch of these, which is, I'm the actress of my own movie.
Hi, wow, you have the exact amount of hair that you have in your profile photo. You have no idea how refreshing that is. Sorry, yeah, before we order drinks, can I just lay a few things out onto the table so we're both not wasting our precious times when we could be answering unread emails? So, I'm looking for a husband and someone to have kids with. Ooh, yikes, I know.
Do you see the acting? It's just acting. It's just acting. She doesn't have a sincere bone in her body. She is an actress playing a role, and the role she's playing is a 30-year-old who's being snarky and making fun of the dating scene. And action.
I'm not saying right now you don't have to impregnate me on top of these menus. That's just what I'm looking for right now. So if commitment is like the boogeyman to you, I totally get it, but you know, boo. Also, I have never come to completion solely by having an eggplant inside of my flower garden. It's important that you know that. In my multiple years of being sexually active, it's never happened, not once. So I appreciate you not making your entire personality about being the person who changes that. If it's gonna affect your manhood, I'm probably just not the girl for you, and I'm definitely not gonna spend the next 10 years pretending like I am, if you know what I mean.
Do you see how she's acting? She's an actress right now. This is not a sincere woman. I mean, maybe some of what she's saying has to do with her, I don't know, her dating past and her dating future. But that's not the point of any of this. Women have gotten to the point now where they're literally going crazy. If you've ever met somebody from Hollywood or maybe a narcissistic, I don't know, sports person, usually local TV anchors are the worst. They're like nobodies. But because they do the local news, and maybe if you happen to recognize them, they remind me of like Shooter McGavin off of Happy Gilmore. Like he's just, hey guy, yeah, I'm super popular, I'm out there. That's what all of this is now.
I'm a feminist, shocker, and I'm not necessarily saying you have to be. Labels can be weird. I just would prefer you not think that any man who willingly went to go see Barbie was gay by default. Also, that being said, my best friend's on standby and she will come save me immediately should you say anything even remotely resembling an Andrew Tate quote. That one's just for my safety. Now, last but not least, I'm looking for someone who wants me as a partner, not a cheerleader. The blonde hair can sometimes throw people off.
Yeah, okay, maybe, sweetheart, but except your blonde hair's not natural. Look at your dark roots and your dark eyebrows. So, yeah.
So people off. So if you want a little more rah-rah, sis, boom, bah, Chris, I love that for you. You're a very attractive man. That's why you're here. I'm sure you can find a variety of options available to you at the local mall. Now, that being said, Chris, do you feel like we're on the same page? Can we order a drink and try not to talk about our ex for the next hour, or are we reading different chapters?
It's insufferable. Now, of course, she's not like this on a date. Probably what she's like is if the guy's really super hot, she'll have a couple drinks with him and probably goes home and bangs him. That's why she's single in her mid-30s or however far into her 30s, she is. And you can hear that if she's this narcissistic and shallow, she's not really fun. None of the drama kids were fun. Lastly, second to last, I've got this one. And this is the other thing that's now checking into the crazy women's living their own life. This woman has decided the movies that she's going to star in allow her to show her starfish, a little butthole action, and probably herself without any clothes. And because of that, she gets a lot of attention from men, and men pay her money. They pay the price of admission to watch her movie on OnlyFools, $5 or $10 at a time. So not only is she starring in her own movies, but she has a price of admission, and men are willing to pay it. And so thus, she is a movie star. She is a legitimate movie star in the fact that she makes money off of it. And of course, these men are doing all men a disservice by paying the tickets. But we'll play this because here's the thing. She's undateable, obviously, if she's an OnlyFools creator. And she's also insufferable and entitled. But I'll tell you this, what she says is actually correct. There's nothing that comes out of her mouth that's a lie. She's 100% on board with this. However, there are ramifications.
I make more than a doctor, and I capitalize off of men. You guys are my biggest fans, even if you're haters.
I do have to pause this because there's some soft background music, and I don't want to have to edit this segment out on YouTube. So I apologize. I'm going to have to just kind of pause it and blah, blah, blah.
I made over $400,000 last year, and it is all because of you.
So $400,000 last year, all because of men, the men watching this show. She's got a two-tone haircut, or hair dye. She's, again, I don't even think she's specifically attractive. Maybe she's got a great body on her that the men appreciate. And what is she doing on the Whatever podcast? She's being made fun of by the guys on Whatever, but in the same token, a lot of the people that are watching this show go subscribe. They actually, because these women have said, oh, it was great going on their podcast. I got like 400 more subscribers. So of course they're going to go on these shows because of the men paying the price of admission to their movie.
So you guys want to keep clowning on sex work? Keep it up, because if you guys just came together as a whole, as men, we wouldn't be in business. We are profiting off of you.
That's no lies. You know, there's a supply and demand question. And I've got into these discussions with other people. They say, well, the supply is there. There's just tons of women to look at. And men say, hey, you know what? It's $5 a month. Who cares? I want to look at her and I want to enjoy it. It's $5. Hey, you know something? You do you, man. But understand that that this is enticing more women to try to become rich doing this stuff. And the problem is a woman can put herself out there. She will still have the damage. She'll still have the problems from doing stuff like this. The internet lives forever. The difference is she didn't get rich. She made $112 in a month of doing this stuff, or 2 months or 3 months. But there's 3 months of a lot of content out there. So I do understand when men say, well, it's my money and who cares? And for the cost of $5, she may get rich, but she'll be single the rest of her life. No, she won't. Because we men would say, oh, I'd never date a woman like this. There's going to be some losers that'll do it. And she won't need him for money because she's got her own money. So what will she do? She'll go around sleeping with men. She'll go out and have her fun. She'll sleep with good-looking men. And when they don't want to wife her up and they don't want to be around here for any length of time, why does she care? She's literally rich. And again, she's the movie of her own movie. She's the movie star of her own movie because look at all the fans she has.
Thank you. Keep subscribing to our OnlyFans. Keep talking about sex workers because we are making so much more money, and I'm about to be at $1 million this year.
Okay, maybe she's going to be $1 million. Yes, there's long-term ramifications, but she's not going to find out probably for another 10 or 15 years. In the meantime, what is she for the next 10 or 15 years? She is an insufferable, vapid woman that is out there telling women, hey, you should do this too, and I'm going to be rich, and you can be rich, and you don't need no man kind of stuff. And she's right that if all the men cut off the supply and purchasing her stuff, if men just for 3 months collectively said, that's it, we're out. These women would have to find real jobs. But it's not going to happen because they're their own movie stars. This last one I'm going to play, I have a part 2 to this. And for the part 2, you're going to have to go over to Locals, betterbachelor.locals.com. It's about 5 minutes. I can't play it here on YouTube because it's TMZ did an interview, and they will hit you with copyright just for showing a still of this stuff. Like, they're really on top of it. I don't want to have to get into the argument or the headache with YouTube, so I'm not going to play that part. But this is a TikTok. Now, this woman, so this NBA player, Joe Smith, he's an ex-NBA player. His wife has had an OnlyFools account for a year plus without him knowing it. And she is not a spring chicken, and neither is he. He's been out of the league, and she looks, I don't know, she looks to be well into her 40s, probably closing in on 50 if she's not. And he's just finding out now she's got an OnlyFools account. But what is my point with this? Because we've done videos like this before. What is she doing when her and her husband start to have a conversation about this? Well, she fires up the phone. She decides to live stream her argument with her husband and him finding out about her account. Why? Because it's episode 83 of, I don't even know what this lady's name is. Let me see if they say it over here. They just say Joe Smith's wife reveals. They don't even say her name. They don't even say her name. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This is episode 83 of Mrs. Smith sharing her life with everybody, because it's more important for her to get the attention and get the views and get the likes and get the love from her followers on TikTok than it is to solve things amicably and in person with her husband. Everybody thinks they're on the Truman Show and they're the star.
It's stupid, yo. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you could even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, yo, that's fucked up.
Wait, no, calm, but you're not gonna say fuck me, or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
You recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going.
Do you see she keeps pausing to look at the camera? I mean, even he said, why, what, you're recording? What is going on? She keeps pausing to look at the camera. Smile. Actress in a movie.
Okay, look, so I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
She's now explaining her life to nobodies on the internet rather than actually having a conversation. She's now talking about her husband in the third person like he's not even there.
Of course I'm mad at you just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you my choice, my body, my choice?
She just pulled the my body, my choice stuff. Oh my God. Okay, so he can go out and just sleep with somebody if he wants to? Well, it's his body. He's just doing with it what he wants to. This is what I'm talking about. But that's all aside. When they're trying to have this discussion, she's barely even acknowledging him in the room because he's just a part-time player. He's just like husband number one in house walking upstairs. She is the actress. She's the main person.
Tell you my choice, my body, my choice.
Your partner, you're supposed to come to me and talk to me.
Joe, I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no solution.
You knew who the f I was when you met me.
Before,
I
knew that.
Thought that I would never have to go.
I'm just going through this. Like, I know you don't care about the argument. I'm just going through this so you can see her continually, like, ignoring him to reference her fans on her little movie screen here, because this is the movie screen. And so she continues arguing with him, and what she's arguing about. And look at this. She keeps turning back to the camera.
So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay.
Bye. Let me get back to my fans on my show. Hi, I'm back.
I've been doing what I have to do, period. Like, that's by.
I'm back from the distraction, acting like Oprah back from commercial break. You know, I've done videos in the last couple of weeks about these women that are going on dates, and they're recording them eating food, and they're recording themselves getting in an argument, and they're recording the guy because he took her to Olive Garden, even though she was, or whatever, Cheesecake Factory, whatever it was, even though she was an hour late on the date. And I even said it. My title of the thumbnail was like, "What the hell's going on with these women?" The women have lost it, and the only way I can think of this is these women think they're their own stars of their own movies, and they want to pay attention more to their adoring fan because they're raging narcissists. They love themselves and the attention they're getting more than anybody else and anything else, including arguing with your husband. Or they love themselves so much no man is good enough for them. They love themselves so much that they got to film everything and give it to their fans. They love themselves. They have to debase themselves and do gross things like this girl is doing on the gum wall here. Where is it? This girl, you go to Reddit. You go to Reddit. There are so many pages where you can just put in NSFW. Just put that in. You will see women. You'll see everything of women. You will see women doing some pretty crazy things out there with nothing on. And in the meantime, they're getting 3 likes on their stuff. And if you look and you go to their actual, you click on their name and go to, you'll find out, my God, they're posting 30, 40, 50 pictures in a few months. And if you add up all the likes, it might be 100 likes from like 30 photos. They're getting 3 to 5 photos or likes per photo. Mostly because they're not that attractive, but they keep putting it up there. Why? Because those 3 to 5 likes are worth them exposing themselves on the internet. This it's vapid and the narcissistic problem is happening to men as well too. Men are having the same issues, but not nearly to the same degree. You know, men will do crazy stunts. Men will hurt themselves trying to look cool or something like that. Women do something that's gross instead. I don't want to just put this on necessarily all women, but most of those guys, if you ask them, hey, you know, if women don't like that you do this, you know, if women find it embarrassing that you do this, would you stop doing it if you found a good girlfriend? Dude, just lay down. And I think most guys would be like, yeah, I mean, I'm just doing this to kill time, or it's funny, or it's whatever. But yeah, if I had a girlfriend and she didn't like me doing these weird stunts or doing all this crazy stuff, yeah, I think I'd stop. Women today would be like, not only will I not stop, he better support me and he better find creative ways for me to make money doing it. You know, he needs to be my roadie. He needs to be my digital assistant to help me continue being a movie star. That's the only thing I can come up with. That's the only way any of this makes sense anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but so much of it seems that. And it's mostly for Instagram and TikTok. I mean, I'm not on Instagram, but I see a couple of them. But for the TikTok stuff, women are just going crazy because they need that attention. And they're getting it. By God, they're getting it. And ultimately, yes, they may be miserable. But what's happening is, you know, you take this chick right here. She's probably, I mean, well, even better. You take this woman. She's 50-something, probably, or late 40s. She's doing it. You know, you got women making money off of it. She's in her 30s doing it. She's, I don't know, whatever she is. This weirdo's doing it. You go all the way down here. What happens when, you know, I think maybe you're supposed to be, I don't know, 16 or 18, but you probably have younger than that on TikTok. What happens when they see this? The next generation grows up to do the same. And in the meantime, or maybe even she will be like, oh, this was a huge mistake, and I've ruined my life for the love and adoration and attention of people that don't matter and don't care about me. Too late. Well, when she find out? In her 50s? Well, that means that the 15-year-olds or the 12 or whatever today, they got 40 years of being crazy before they figure out they've ruined themselves. And the reason why this matters, because that's 40 years we have to put up with them in society being crazy and ruining the next generation of people and ruining the next generation of relationships and on and on and on and on. It's never ending, never ending. All right, for you guys over here on YouTube, I'm going to continue on because I want to play this clip because you can see she's crying. She's gonna lament a little bit about her husband because he's like, I'm out, like I'm leaving. And you know something? And you know, here's what her apology consists of. Yeah, exactly. She doesn't apologize. She doesn't even take accountability. Who's she blame, everybody? Say it with me, fellas. Who's she blame? That's right. She blames him. She blames him. So if you're over here on YouTube, come on over to Locals. Join us over there where I'm going to finish on this clip and do a couple dating profiles of the day.